phone is your paycheck. That's not a metaphor. It's literally true. And Mark is going to show you the math to prove it. Let's go to slide 2. Here's the roadmap for today. 4 sections. First, Mark is going to show you why you already have a massive head start over 99% of agents in this country. Most of you don't fully appreciate how good you have it, and that's meant as a compliment to the system, not a criticism of you. Second, we're going to talk about the reality of getting people on the phone in 2026, why it's harder than ever, but also why the phone is still where deals get done. Third, and this is the meat of it, the specific strategies for following up with your Zillow connections and then making first contact with seller leads and other internet leads. And fourth, we're going to make it personal. What does all of this actually mean for your paycheck? You'll see the note at the bottom of this slide. While we're focusing on Zillow Flex, this applies to everything. Seller leads, website leads, the advertising programs being expanded this year, all of it. Let's go to slide 3, section 1. And that's not an exaggeration. Let me show you why. Let's go to slide 4. Before we tell you how good you have it, you need to understand what life looks like for most real estate agents in America who work internet leads. The average conversion rate on internet leads across the industry is between 0.5% and 2.5%. Let that sink in. Out of every 100 leads a typical agent gets from Google Ads or Facebook or their website, they're closing 1, maybe 2, and it takes 8 to 12 follow-up attempts, calls, texts, emails, just to get that lead to talk to you. Not to close them, just to get them on the phone for the first time. Here's the one that really stands out. 42% of internet leads are never contacted at all, almost half. The agent pays for the lead, gets the notification, and never picks up the phone. And the ones who do respond? The average response time is over 15 hours. 15 hours. By then, that prospect has talked to 3 other agents. This is the world most agents live in. Now let me show you why this is not your world. Let's go to slide 5. Here's the fundamental difference. A typical internet lead source gives you 100 names and says good luck. You're going to spend weeks chasing people who filled out a form by accident, aren't ready to buy, already have an agent, or gave you a fake phone number. Zillow Flex does something completely different. They take that same pool of 100 people and they identify the 10% who are most likely to actually buy a home. They use behavioral data, search patterns, engagement signals, and then they connect you live on the phone with those 10 people while they're actively searching. So think about that ratio. 100 random internet leads is roughly equal in value to 10% of your Zillow Flex connections. You are starting from a dramatically better position than almost any other agent working internet leads. And nationally, Zillow leads convert at about 4%. That's already 4 times the industry average, and that's before you factor in your advantages. Let's go to slide 6. So if the national Zillow average is 4%, why is this team nearly double that? 2 reasons. First, and this is something that doesn't get talked about enough, geography works in your favor. When someone is searching for homes in Citrus County, they've already made a decision. They're not comparison shopping between Tampa and Orlando and Atlanta. They've chosen this community. That means your leads are more serious, more focused, and more likely to actually transact than leads in a major metro area where buyers are casually browsing 5 different markets. Second, the systems. Follow-up Boss, the training cadences, the follow-up structure, the accountability Mark has built into the process. You're not just getting better leads, you're working them with better tools than most agents ever get access to. The result? This team converts at 7.68%. That's nearly double the national Zillow average, and it's up to 15 times the general industry average for internet leads. You should feel good about that number. But, and there's always a but, you can do better. Let's go to slide 7. This is the slide Mark really wants you to look at. Same 990 leads, same market, nothing changes except how well you execute. At the current 7.68%, the team closed 76 transactions over 6 months. That generated $237,600 in agent income. Now watch what happens at 10%, which is where you should be given this market in these systems. Same leads, 99 transactions, $309,500 in agent income. The difference? 23 more deals, nearly $72,000 more in your pockets. And on an annualized per agent basis, that's roughly $10,000 more per year. That's not more leads. Nobody's asking Zillow for more connections. Nobody is spending more money on advertising. That's better execution on what you already have. The leads are already in your CRM. The question is what you're doing with them after that first conversation. Let's go to slide 8. Let's make this personal. For some of you, what we're talking about today could mean a 50% increase in your income this year. For a few of you, it could mean doubling what you made last year, and you can do it without a single additional prospect. Same lead volume, better execution, more closings, bigger paycheck. That's the formula. Mark's job, and frankly a responsibility he feels he should have addressed sooner, is to show you how. That's what he owes you. Not just to say make more calls, but to actually teach you the strategies that make those calls more effective. That's what the rest of this presentation is about. Let's go to slide 9, section 2. Now we get into the reality of what you're up against and why the strategies you're about to learn matter so much. Let's go to slide 10. Look at these numbers. 80% of consumers now avoid answering calls from unknown numbers. 87% won't engage at all with an unidentified caller. And 92%, 9 out of 10 people, assume that an unknown call is fraudulent. And honestly, can you blame them? Americans are getting 2.5 billion robocalls a month. That's the highest it's been in 6 years. Your prospects have been conditioned by scammers to treat every unknown call as a solar panel pitch or an extended car warranty. So when you call a prospect and they don't pick up, don't take it personally. They're not rejecting you. They don't even know it's you. They're protecting themselves from the tsunami of garbage calls they get every single day. But here's the thing. Knowing this is actually empowering because now we can work around it. And that's exactly what the next few slides are about. Let's go to slide 11. Here's what makes this so interesting. People won't answer the phone, but when they do get on the phone, that's where the deals happen. 38% of all real estate conversions happen over the phone. That's more than any other channel, more than email, more than text, more than social media. And 75% of people who click on a real estate ad and actually convert prefer to do it over the phone. 3 out of 4 people who are serious enough to take action want to talk to a human being. Because buying a house isn't like ordering something on Amazon. It's a $300,000 decision. People want to hear your voice. They want to ask questions in real time. They want to feel confident that they're working with someone who knows what they're doing. So the phone is still the most powerful tool you have. The challenge, the entire challenge, is getting them to pick up. And that's a solvable problem. Let's go to slide 12. Section 3, this is where we get tactical. For those of you on the Zillow program, this is your playbook. Let's go to slide 13. You need to understand something that separates your situation from everything we just covered about the industry. When you follow up with a Zillow Flex connection, you are not cold calling. You've already spoken to this person. You had a live conversation. They told you what they're looking for. They know your name. They know you're with Berkshire Hathaway. You are continuing a relationship, not starting one from scratch. So all those industry stats about needing 8 to 12 touches just to get someone to talk to you, that doesn't apply to you the same way. Your first conversation already happened on that live transfer. Your follow-up call might only need 2 or 3 attempts to reconnect, not 8. But you have to actually make those 2 or 3 attempts, and how you make them matters enormously. Let's go to slide 14. If you take one thing away from this entire presentation, it might be this. It takes 10 seconds and it costs you nothing. At the end of every Zillow live transfer, say this. I'm going to send you a text right now so you have my number. Save it to your contacts so when I call you back, you'll know it's me and not a robocall. Then immediately send that text. Their name, your name, Zillow Premier Agent, save this number. Here's why this is so powerful. Remember, 80% of people won't answer an unknown number. But if they've saved your contact, you're not an unknown number anymore. You show up on their screen as a real person they've talked to. You just took yourself out of the 80% rejection pile and into the, oh, that's my real estate agent pile. 10 seconds. Do it every single time. No exceptions. Let's go to slide 15. Now, even if they saved your number, or especially if you're not sure they did, here's the next strategy. Use text to set up the phone call. 98% of text messages are read within 5 minutes. The average person responds to a text in 90 seconds. Compare that to email, 90 minutes. So text is how you get their attention. But here's the key. You're not trying to have the whole conversation over text. You're using text to earn the phone call. Look at these examples on the slide. Are you available for a quick call? I only need about 2 minutes. I found a couple properties that match what you described. Can I call you for 2 minutes to go over them? Notice the pattern. You're asking permission. You're setting a time expectation. 2 minutes, that's it. And you're offering value. I have something for you. Now, when you call 60 seconds after that text, they know who's calling, they know why, and they've mentally agreed to give you 2 minutes. Your answer rate goes through the roof. This is the bridge from text to phone, and it works. Let's go to slide 16. This one is near and dear to Mark's heart because it's about professionalism. No conversation, no interaction of any kind, ever ends without a specific next step. Not I'll call you later, not I'll be in touch. Those are empty promises that create zero accountability. Instead, would 11:30 or noon work better for me to call you back? You're giving two choices. You're creating a commitment. And then, and this is the part that matters, you honor that commitment with military precision. If you said noon, you call at exactly noon, not 11:59. That feels aggressive. They thought they had another minute. Not 12:01. That tells them you're disorganized. Exactly noon. You know what message that sends? It says, if I am this disciplined with a simple phone call, imagine how disciplined I will be when I'm handling your $300,000 transaction. That's how you build trust, before you've even shown them a house. Your professionalism is always on display, even in the small things, especially in the small things. Let's go to slide 17. Mark calls this the Terminator strategy because, like the Terminator, you don't stop. But, and this is important, you stop with a smile, not a scowl. A lead is not dead until they tell you one of three things. 1, they've signed an exclusive agreement with another agent. 2, they refuse to work with any agent at all. 3, they've completely abandoned their plans to buy or sell. Until you hear one of those three things from their mouth, that lead is alive and it's your responsibility. Here's the process. You call, you leave a helpful voicemail, and you include a specific callback time. I'll call you back tonight at 6 p.m. with those property details we discussed. Then you call it exactly 6 p.m. See the doctrine of the clock again. If no answer, you leave another helpful message with a new time. Always professional, always helpful, never frustrated, never demanding. After 2 or 3 attempts, here's what usually happens. They pick up, and they either engage with you or they give you honest feedback about where they are. Either way, you have information you can work with. And remember, you are not harassing anyone. They clicked contact agent, they submitted an inquiry, they asked for your help, you're delivering it. That's your job. Let's go to slide 18. Let me back up everything we just said with data. 80% of real estate sales require at least 5 follow-up attempts. 5. But 44% of agents, almost half, give up after just one. One attempt and they're done. That's not a competitive marketplace. That's a wide open field for anyone willing to make call number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Look at this one. Only 40% of leads respond to your first follow-up, but 85% respond by the 6th. That means if you quit after attempt 1 or 2, you're walking away from the vast majority of people who would have eventually said yes. And here's the big one for this team specifically. Half of your closings happen after the 30-day mark. Half. So if you're working fresh, leads hard for 2 weeks and then moving on because there are new leads this week, you are leaving roughly half of your potential income on the table. And that income doesn't just disappear. Another agent picks it up, maybe someone on this very team. Let's go to slide 19. No names here, but Mark wants you to know that the data is visible, and the correlation between phone activity and results is undeniable. There is one agent on this team who makes significantly more outbound calls than anyone else, logs more talk time by a wide margin, and their results reflect it consistently among the top performers. There are 3 or 4 agents who use the phone consistently and strategically. Not 100 calls a day, just disciplined, purposeful calling and persistent follow-up. Their numbers are strong, and there are agents making 0 outbound calls in a given month. 0, relying entirely on incoming calls and texts, and their results reflect that choice too. Here's the philosophy Mark wants you to internalize. Incoming calls are problems to solve. Outgoing calls are opportunities you create. If they called you first, you're already behind. You're reacting. The agents who control their pipeline are the ones picking up the phone proactively. And a quick note, use your CRM for every call. If you're on Zillow, that means Follow Up Boss. It records, transcribes, logs everything, and suggests next steps. If you're not on the Zillow program, use BHHS Connect. It does similar things with tracking and notes and follow-up reminders. Either way, let the system handle the busy work so you can focus on the human being on the other end of the line. Let's go to slide 20. Section 4. Let's go to slide 20. Section 4. Everything we've covered so far applies here too. The text-to-call bridge, the doctrine of the clock, the terminator strategy, all of it. Think of this section as everything included in the previous section, plus these additional skills for situations where you're making first contact. Seller leads, website leads, other internet leads where that first live transfer hasn't happened yet. Let's go to slide 21. This is one of the most important concepts in this entire presentation. When you contact a lead for the first time, especially a seller lead, expect defense mechanisms. This is not rejection. This is human nature. Think about when you walk into Best Buy and someone says, "Can I help you?" What do you say? Just looking, every time. Even if you drove there specifically to buy a 65-inch TV, it's a reflex. You're not lying. You're just not ready to commit to a conversation with a stranger yet. The same exact thing happens in real estate. You call a seller lead and they say, "I'm not interested in selling," or "I just wanted to see what my house is worth," or "I don't need an agent right now." Most of the time, that's the Best Buy reflex. It's not a real answer, it's a defense mechanism. And here's the critical part. They think you're calling to list their house tomorrow. That feels like pressure. That feels like commitment. That's why they push back. But that's not what you're offering. You're offering to stop by for 10 minutes, walk through their home, take a few pictures so you can compare it to comparable sales. Not just square footage, but finished quality, counters, cabinets, flooring, and give them an accurate professional market value of their home. That's it, 10 minutes. Everyone wants to know what their home is worth. And the benefit to you, you get to meet them face to face. They see how professional you are. They see that you're not the pushy salesperson they were afraid of. And when they do decide to sell, whether that's next month or next year, you're at minimum going to get a shot at that listing. With seller leads especially, speed matters. The moment they submitted that inquiry, they were open and curious. Every minute that passes, they're dialing themselves back to just looking. That's why you want to reach them fast, before they've had time to rehearse "I'm not interested." A text within 60 seconds, a call within 5 minutes. Use the same text-to-call bridge we talked about earlier. "I just received your home valuation request. I'm going to give you a call in about 5 minutes. Is that okay?" And remember, every single person you're calling asked for help. Zillow buyers clicked Contact Agent. Seller leads submitted a request. Website leads filled out a form. They raised their hand. Your call is not an interruption. It's the service they asked for. You don't need to apologize for following up. You need to deliver. That's your job. That's what you get paid to do. So let me bring it all together with your action items. 1. On every Zillow Live transfer, tell them to save your number. Send that text immediately. 10 seconds. 2. Text before you call. Are you available for a 2-minute call? Use text as the bridge to the phone conversation. 3. Set specific callback times. Would 11:30 or noon work? Never, "I'll be in touch." 4. Be precisely on time. The 12 o'clock rule. It builds trust before you've shown them a single property. 5. Don't quit too early. Half of your closings happen after day 30. The lead you abandon at day 14 is another agent's commission at day 45. 6. Use your CRM for every call. Follow up boss for Zillow agents, BHHS Connect for everyone else. And 7. Remember that calling is a kindness, not an interruption. They asked for your help. Deliver it. The difference between where you are right now and a 50% or even 100% raise this year is not more leads. It's not more advertising. It's not luck. It's the phone calls you make and the ones you don't give up on. You have the leads. You have the systems. You have the support. And now, with this presentation, you have the playbook. Please take the time to read through it thoroughly. Review the additional materials Mark has included. 2 hours of your time could easily be worth $1,600 an hour if it gets you even one more closing. This has been Gwyneth Paltrow, well, the AI version, narrating for Mark Casper and Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Florida Showcase Properties. Now go make some calls.